You are listening to Bhagavad Gita for All, a practical guide for everyday life. A lecture series by Nalan Narula. Chapter 11, The Universal Form.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
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 Last time we had completed chapter 10 of the Bhagavad Gita, which was the opulence of the Absolute. And the final shlok 42 of chapter 10 was Athva bahuna etana kim gyatena tava arjuna vishtabhya aham idam kritsnam eka anshena sthitah jagat. Saying, what is the need for all this descriptive knowledge? He has described on Arjun's request the opulences and greatnesses of his own divine self in the main points, and on Arjun's request of asking him, please tell me how I should think of you, meditate on you, and so on. He says, but what is the need? Krishna says, what is the need for all this? Because if you just understand that with a single spark of myself, with just a small eka ansha, small part, I maintain this entire universe. So that is what he left Arjun with to meditate on at the end of the last sequence of the conversation between Arjun and Krishna on the battlefield of Kurukshetra. So then Arjun asked Krishna in chapter 11, the first text, Arjun asked Krishna, Mat anugrahaya parmam gohyam adhyatma sangyapam yat tvaya uktam vacha tena moha ayam vigata mama. Arjun says that you have shown me favor. Mat anugrahaya, you have shown me great favor by disclosing this most supreme, confidential, spiritual matter by your words, and my illusion is now dispelled. I have this knowledge, I have been educated, vigata, that my illusion, moha ayam vigata mama, that now there is no more illusion. So I am no more in illusion because you have educated me, and my illusion is dispelled. And what was the illusion? That not knowing who Krishna is and thinking of him as his brother, as his friend, as his charioteer, as a normal person. And then again he is realizing that is actually not Krishna's real position. So he asked him earlier on that I surrender to you and please instruct me. So part of that instruction is Lord Krishna talking about the universal form, how he is with one small fragment of his potency, he is sustaining and maintaining the entire universe. So Arjun says, I am very grateful and humbled to hear your instruction on these matters. And then he goes on to say, Bhav apyayau hi bhutanam shruta vistarasha mayatvaha kamalapatraksha mahatmayam apicha avyayam. I have heard from you, lotus-eyed one, Kamal Patraksha, lotus-eyed one, all your glories which are inexhaustible. I have heard about the appearance and disappearance of all the Bhutanam, living entities, how they appear and how they disappear. I have heard this in great detail, Vistarasha, detail. I have heard this from you. And realize this through your glories, which are inexhaustible, which are unending, which are infinite. In text 3, he goes on to say to Lord Krishna, Evam etat yathatha tvam atmanam parmeshwar drashtum ichchami te rupam aishwaram purushottama. That you are the greatest of personalities, and I see you in front of me here. I see that you are present in front of me, and at the same time, I wish to know how you have entered into this universal cosmic manifestation. I want to see that form of yours. Vishwarupam. He wants to see the Vishwarup. So, Ichchami te rupam aishwaryam purushottam. So, he is referring to the universal form that Krishna might have, because he has referred to at the end of chapter 10 that with one spark of myself I sustain this entire universe. And although I've heard all your inexhaustible glories, and I've heard about and understood the appearance and disappearance of all the living entities, I would like to see that universal form of yours. So then in text 4, Arjun goes on to say, to clarify this further, it's not just that I want to see, it is, why do I want to see, or how do I want to see? Manyase yadi tat chakyam maya drashtum iti prabhu yugeshwara tato me tvam darshayatmanam avyayam. I want to see this if manyase yadi tat sakyam, if you think I'm able to see this. Manyase yadi tat sakyam maya, if you think I am able to see this, drishtum, to see, iti prabhu, so therefore Lord, Master, Yogeshwara, Lord of all mystic powers, tata me tvam darshaya atmanam avyayam. If you think I'm able to see this, if I'm fit to see this, if I can sustain viewing this, you are the Lord of all mystic potencies, Yogeshwara. Kindly show this to me, your universal eternal form. So it is interesting that there is the word avyayam, eternal, has been used for this darshaya atma nam avyayam. Show me your eternal universal form. So it means that the universe is eternal, it is always there, it is never ending, and the cycles of creation and destruction keep continuing, but it is a universal cycle. It is always happening somewhere or the other that this universal self of Krishna's is manifesting. The other understanding is that by book knowledge, by technical knowledge, by jnana, you are not going to know Krishna. It has to be by realization. So one of the realizations that is happening here is that Arjun's ignorance, illusion is dispelled, and he is requesting Krishna, reveal yourself to me in the universal form. If you think that I am fit to behold this, then you may please kindly show me this universal form. So it is happening according to divine will. It is happening according to divine choice, not by anybody's personal choice that I am going to now be able to see, I have to meditate, I have to do this, I have to go through some yoga process, some mental concoction process, and see the universal form. It is only the mercy of the divine that will reveal that to you. Text 5, Shri Bhagwan Uvacha, Pashya me partha rupani shatasho atha sahasrasha nana vidhani divyani nana varna kritini cha. The Supreme Lord spoke and said, Pashya, just see, me, my, Partha, son of Pritha, Arjun, Rupani, just see now my form. What kind of form? Shatasha atha sahasrasha nana vidhani divyani nana varna Kritini. This form of hundreds and thousands. Shatasha is hundreds, Sahasrasha is thousands. Nana Vidhani, different types. Variety, unlimited variety. Divyani, divine unlimited varieties. Nana Varna, all kinds of colors. And Akritini, all kinds of forms also. So these are multicolored and so many variegated forms. So this form again is now special potency given to Arjun to see this. Text 6. Pashya adityan vasun rudran ashvinao maruta tatha bahuni adrishta purvani pashya ascharyani bharata. So see now the 12 sons of Aditi. Aditi is the mother of the demigods, one of the two sisters. Diti is the mother, her sister. Diti is the mother of the demons, the demoniac, and Aditi is the mother of the demigods. So he's saying, see the 12 sons of Aditi. The Rishi Munis are also coming from there. Vasun, the 8 Vasus. Rudran, the 11 forms of the Rudras. The Ashwinis, the 2 Ashwinis, the Ashwini Kumaras. The Maruta, the wind gods, the demigods of the wind, for the 49 Maruts of whom Indra is the leader. Tatha Bahuni Adrishta Purvani. That you, so many things you have never seen before. Purvani, never seen before. Adrishta Purvani. Now see, Pashya Ascharyani, all these amazing and wonderful forms you can see now Bharata. So all these forms are now being revealed. Now the mention of Maruta is significant because they are the wind gods and the mind is composed of wind and space, and the mind is very flickering like the wind, it blows here and there. So that is a significant reference. And Rudra, the 11 forms of Rudra of whom Shiva is one, and the 8 Vasus, and the 12 Adityas, the 12 sons of Aditi. And those are significant references as being of importance. The Maruta reference particularly has a second meaning. They are actually the sons of Diti, the demons. But here, even it is indicated that even a demoniac person can be elevated to the demigod status. So Krishna is allotting them the demigod status because they have reformed. So even a demon can reform and come to the status of a demigod. So it is not that you have to be born a demigod or you have to be born in a particular state. You can achieve that state also, just as the Maruts did. Then we have text 7. Lord Krishna goes on to state, after revealing these forms, and then he is describing them further. Ihaika stham jagat kritsnam pasyadyasa characharam mama dehe gudakesha yat chanyad drashtum ichhasi. Whatever you wish to see, ichhasi, Arjun, you can see all at the same time, simultaneously in this body. You can look and this universal form will show you everything that you wish to see and whatever you may desire in the future. Everything is here completely. So past, present and future are simultaneously present in the divine universal form. So there is no limitation of time in the divine form. So we have a limitation of time, or we calculate time by the deterioration of matter. But in the universal form, one can see also the spiritual matter, and which is indestructible. And Krishna is saying, now you can see this, the whole universe all in one place, and that is a special potency and special you can say quality which is not available anywhere else. You can see everything that is moving, that is not moving within this body of mind. And wherever you desire to focus, and by your looking at that, it will reveal itself to you, in other words. Text 8. Na tu mam shakshya drashtum anenaiva swachakshusa divyam dadami te chaksu pashyame yogam aishwaram. This is very significant. You cannot see me with your present material eyes. Na tu mam shakshya drashtum anena eva. You cannot see swachakshusa. With the swachakshusa, your own eyes, you cannot see this divine form. So, dadami te chakshu, I give you the eyes, pashya, to see me by my inconceivable yoga ishwaram, my mystic power. I give to you the divine eyes through which you can behold my mystic opulence. Now, the secretary of Dhritarashtra is narrating this whole thing to Dhritarashtra, the blind king of Hastinapur. And sitting in Hastinapur, he's got this mystic potency by the grace of his guru Vedvyas. And so now Sanjay speaks. So Sanjay is narrating this whole thing. Sanjaya Vacha, text number 9 of the 11th chapter. Eva muktva tato rajan mahayogeshwaro hari darshayam asa parthaya paramam rupam aishwaram. So Sanjay is reporting to the king, O king, the supreme lord of all mystic power, the supreme personality, Hari, one who liberates all and to whom all living beings belong, he, Darshayamasa, showed Parthaya, Arjun, Paramam Rupam Aishwaryam, his universal mystic opulent form. So now he has displayed his universal form to Arjun. So at the time, the people present on the battlefield, there were thousands of warriors and lakhs of warriors there. They didn't see it. It is Arjun who saw it, and Sanjay is able to see it, and there are a few others who were able to see it, but not everyone. So people did not know what is going on. So like that, many people may be hearing this and seeing this, but if they don't have the right attitude, they will not begin to understand the mystic potencies of Lord Krishna. So then in chapter 11 we have text 10 and 11. Aneka vaktra nayanam, aneka adbhuta darshanam, aneka divya bharanam, divya aneko datyad yudham, divya malyambar dharam, divya gandha anulepanam, sarvascharya mayam devam anantam vishwato mukham. Aneka vaktra nayanam, aneka adbhuta darshanam. Most amazing variegated sight of various mouths, various eyes, various divine forms, ornaments, and the various most highest form of weapons, ayudham, and divya malya, the divine garlands, ambaradharam, covered with beautiful clothes and dress, divya gandham, great divine fragrance, anulepam, smeared with the body, sarva ascharya mayam, most wonderful, amazing, devam, shining brilliantly, anantam, unlimitedly, vishwata mukham, all pervading in all directions throughout the universe, all different forms. So this dazzling form of the unlimited mouths and eyes and unlimited divine dazzling ornaments arrayed in many different clothes, beautiful garlands and fragrances all over the body, and this was unlimited and constantly expanding, and Arjun saw all of this. So even though Krishna may be at one place, he can be everywhere simultaneously. Anywhere. His hands and mouths and legs, etc. can be everywhere. Text 12. Divi Surya Sahasrasya Bhavet Yugapat Uthita Yadi Bhah Sadrishi Sa Syat Bhasha Tasya Mahatmana. Divi Surya Sahasrasya Bhavet Yugapat Uthita. So there were present many thousands of suns present in the divine form, covering the whole sky. They were all present there. And it was as though these thousands of suns rose up into the sky, sadrishi, like that, sasyat bhasha tasya mahatmana. So the glow or the radiance of the divine was as though thousands of suns rose up simultaneously, and that would be some indication of the radiance of the Supreme Person in that universal form, in the Vishwarup. So Sanjay is trying to explain to Dhritarashtra. Now Dhritarashtra does not have material eyes also to see because he was blind. It is something that can be imagined, that there were thousands of brilliant suns, and that's what the effulgence of the divine looked like. Then we have text 13. Tatra ekastham jagat kritsnam pravibhaktam anikadha apashyat deva devasya sharire pandava tada. At that time, there, all at one place, Arjun could see the unlimited expanded forms of universes and could see the divine in all of them. So although the universal form of the Lord was present there, but in that he could see many, many expansions of the universes and the divine within that form. Text 14. Tata sa Vishmaya Vishtha Hrishta Roma Dhananjaya Pranamya Shirasa Devam Kritanjali Abhashata. So at that time, being overwhelmed with absolute wonder and amazement, Hrishta Roma, with the hair on his body standing on end due to great loving ecstasy, Arjun offered his obeisances with bowed head to the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Sri Krishna, and with folded hands began to speak. Okay. So I think we will conclude here at text 14 and start next week with text 15 to what Arjun is actually saying. And it was wonderstruck, he was completely wonderstruck, overwhelmed, and in the face of such greatness, which is overwhelming and divine, he was completely even bewildered in a way, because he could not really understand this. Even though Krishna had given him the divine eyes to see, but he is not able to absorb it. The mind cannot absorb it, actually. It is such greatness. So all the demigods he could see there, he could see so many things. And then next week we will discuss that after this experience of Arjun's, where he was in great ecstasy, he began to offer his pranams, his obeisances, and then he began to say things out of being overwhelmed with this wondrous, amazing sight that he had been able to see because of the grace of Krishna. So if there are any questions or comments at this point in time.
In the sequence of chapters, when the divine is giving a lot of information to Arjun, we almost forgot that Sanjay was translating it to
Right.
Dhritarashtra. So where does Dhritarashtra fit in getting all that information? I mean, not really.
The thing about Dhritarashtra getting the information is the equivalent of an ordinary human being who does not have the spiritual eyes to see. But even he, by listening carefully, can get the spiritual eyes even if he's blind. So Dhritarashtra was blind and ignorant, and he was acting out of ego position by attachment to the kingdom which was in his trust, which he refused to hand over to the Pandavas because of great affection and love for his son Duryodhana. So this can also be taken that we may be, the ordinary person may be like Dhritarashtra, unable to see. But if one sincerely listens and hears with the proper attitude of respect and surrender to the divine, even they can be liberated. Eventually Dhritarashtra was liberated, but it was a long time coming. But this is special mercy of Krishna that he permitted Sanjay to narrate this to Dhritarashtra for the benefit of all those, all the people on the battlefield also, although the people on the battlefield did not see these forms. But this description we are able to understand because it was narrated to Dhritarashtra. And all the people on the battlefield actually died except for the Pandavas. And then led to the next evolution of what happens in the Mahabharata narrative and so on. So this is how we need to understand Dhritarashtra's position as being an ignorant person, unable to see the reality, but with intelligence, even if your eyes are blinded, with intelligence and with devotion to the divine and special empowerment of the life force, one can also understand who Krishna really is, if not actually seeing it like Arjun, but at least getting to know the qualities by education. So Arjun had used previously a very important word, that my illusion has been educated. In other words, I have no more illusion because I have been educated. So illusion, lack of seeing or seeing something which it is not, can be removed through education. So this is the education that we all need to illuminate our understanding about Krishna. So it is not to be understood just by mere scholarship. It cannot be. So it has to be understood with the right attitude and with the right approach. Okay.
Shipra has a question.
Yes.
When Sanjay was reporting about Lord Krishna's darshan in this universal form to Dhritarashtra, why is it that he still did not understand the fate of the battle and his sons? Then she later says, okay, my question got answered.
Okay.
With a smiley. Then she is further asking, sir mentioned that some others were also able to see the divine form. Who were these?
Well,
were they also gifted with divine eyes by Lord Krishna, and what did they do right to be able to see?
they were devotees of Krishna, so few of them saw what the universal form was, but not everyone. Vidur saw. Vidur was one of the people who could see this. Duryodhana did not see. So many of the people on both sides, mostly, they did not see. So even though they were present on the side of Krishna, they were not able to see. They were not given that potency. Only a few people saw. Very few. Bhishma Pitama saw. Vidur saw. So like that. Okay, so we will conclude now at text 14 of chapter 11, the universal form of Krishna, as being narrated by Sanjay to Dhritarashtra. The whole Bhagavad Gita spoken and then recorded by Sanjay through his narrative in real time to Dhritarashtra, king of Hastinapur. Text 14, chapter 11. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
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 Okay. So thank the internet community and everyone here, and we bid you goodbye till next week.
You've been listening to Bhagavad Gita for All, a practical guide for everyday life. A lecture series by Nalan Narula. Chapter 11, The Universal Form. Explore our website, gettingpositivekarmanow.com, for more on how to change your karma and destiny.